Hello, my fellow foam flinging enthusiasts. This is Andrew, aka Dart Sweep, and welcome back to another episode of the Foam Zone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. If this is your first time joining us or you have no idea what the Foam Zone is, the Foam Zone is a bi weekly show that is exclusive to the World Foam Alliance, streaming every other Wednesday at 8 p.m., where we interview guests that are highly involved in the community of foam flinging. So if you have a YouTube channel or you run a club or you run some large scale events or small scale events, we would love to have you on as a guest. So if you have not done so already, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, join our Discord and join the discussions that we've been having. We are extremely excited to be here tonight. Our guest is someone who I've had the pleasure of playing with and meeting at Pennsylvania Survival Fest and NWAR 2023. They are is the founding president of Grove Cities College Urban Gaming Club. Also, they are the game director for Pennsylvania Survival Fest, now known as Survival Fest, and also one of the admins of the Still City Foam Initiative. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest for this evening, Detective Spy Mike, aka Michael Lacek. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. It's been last weekend was kind of crazy with Mutation Madness, but we're here, we're good. I'm excited to be here and to talk with you.
Absolutely. So glad you could join us. So, I guess let's start off with Mall Mutation Madness. Michael, how was Mall Mutation Madness?
It was an experience. That's honestly the best way to describe it. It's very much a sandbox. For those that don't know, Mall Mutation Madness is an event held in Saint. It's in Missouri. I'm never always sure what the town, but it's the Mid Rivers Mall. They lock you in overnight, so you go in at like 6, 7 o'clock. The mall is still open, so you're like lugging all your gear in as people are finishing up their shopping for the day. There's still people in the food court. Um, but then after that, the mall closes down, you check in, and gameplay starts, runs from about 10 p.m. till 4 a.m. It's a really interesting environment to play in. They put up tons and tons of cover. There's probably at least 100, if not a couple hundred boxes that we're able to use as cover, and we're actually movable, so the environment changed as the game changed over the course of the evening.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. I have always wanted to make my way out to Mall Mutation Madness. Unfortunately, it falls in October, and October is like my busy month of the year. So between Ragnarok and Mall Mutation Madness, hopefully one day I'll be able to go, but not this year. So I'm always interested in hearing what others have to say regarding those events. So again, welcome everyone that is just joining us for the Foam Zone this evening. Our special guest is Michael Lacek, the founding president of Grove City College's Urban Gaming Club and game director of Survival Fest and admin of Still City Foam Initiative. Just a friendly reminder to please like and subscribe if you are commenting in the live chat section. I do believe you have to have subscribed already to make a comment. Also, please join our Discord. And just as a rule of thumb, if you're in the live chat, you definitely should be subscribed and throw us a like. That would be greatly appreciated. Also, we will be doing a t-shirt giveaway this evening, and we are looking for catchphrases to use for to use for the whatchamacallit, for the competition. So if you have any ideas or suggestions of what the catchphrase should be, go ahead and comment down in the live chat section, as well as any questions or anything really that you'd like to discuss there. So with that being said, if you made it out to Mall Mutation Madness, go ahead and tell us what you thought down in the live chat section. So I gave it a short introduction to Michael, but I would like Michael to go ahead and kind of reintroduce himself and just give us a more in-depth information about a little bit about who you are in general.
So, good evening to everyone. Like Andrew said, don't forget to, like, comment, answer in the chat. HVZ is going to kind of be the focus for tonight. That is what my favorite thing is. I have had Nerf blasters since I was very young and just really got into it in college with HVZ at Grove City College. During my time there, I went from being a player to leading the humans, to leading the zombies, taking on a moderator role, and eventually moving into a leadership role, taking what was just an event that was being held on campus and turning it into the full-fledged urban gaming club that it is today. I had the honor of running the first 2 invites on campus and still go and play there regularly.
Great. And then tell us exactly how you got into the hobby itself before you even started doing HVZ. Like, did someone show you a blaster or invite you to come play? How did that all come about?
So, like most people, I had blasters growing up as a kid. My first blaster was actually the Element. If you don't remember it, it was a it was almost like a Night Finder, but had extra dart storage in the bottom. So it was plinking around with family. There was a little bit here and there, but really the first big introduction to the community was actually touring colleges. And in high school, my high school is actually on the University of Pittsburgh's campus. And I remember seeing people walking around with blasters being very intrigued by it. So when I went to college, I saw posters for it. And definitely that, when we had like our organization fair, that built into just really wanting me to get involved. After my first semester of college, it definitely caught my attention, especially with the fact I have an engineering background. That was what I went to school for. So being able to take some of that strategic and very fun experience of getting to shoot zombies, fling foam at zombies, and the strategy of that mixed with the engineering mindset of the modifications and 3D printing really just dove head first. I got to go to End War after my first year of playing in 2018 and have been playing ever since. In 22, right after End War 22, discussions started, which eventually turned into Survival Fest, or Pennsylvania Survival Fest as it was called this past year, and Survival Fest here on out being able to run and build that up.
Sure. And also you are an admin for the Still City Foam Initiative as well.
Yes.
Excellent. So if you're watching, tell us what your first experience to foam flinging was down in the live chat. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those comments down in the chat as well. Now, what really attracts you to the hobby and community and foam flinging in general? Why do you love this so much?
So it definitely started with just the people, the ability to have friends that have existed beyond college internationally. A big driving force early on was the ability to network with other engineers. There's a number of people, the designer of the Flycore system, Adam, up in Detroit, He does engineering work. A bunch of those guys have connections there. So part of it started as just professional networking on a hobby end. Now, that's obviously grown since then to just enjoy the game design and gameplay. I am a huge fan of getting to design HVZ missions. You can ask anyone on the Survival Fest team. There will be times where it's like 3, 4 in the morning, and I'll just have like an idea and it's just there. But what really draws me to it is just the experience of it. I mean, you have people who do airsoft and paintball, and they end up in these, while yes, they are unique environments, they are a contained environment. But to be able to be on a college campus or Athens in Ohio, their club, they do the whole town is in play, which can get kind of crazy when you're able to wear your gear that you might be wearing, walk into Wendy's, and they just kind of look at you and be like, oh, it's that time of year again. And that's something you don't get with other hobbies. And those kind of experiences are like Mutation Madness. The mall is still a real active mall. Like, you could go shopping there on Saturday before the event and Sunday after the event. And so the unique venues that come from it has been one of the coolest parts of being able to be involved at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, it's kind of similar. It's kind of that overall experience, and every kind of event is a little bit different, and you're hanging out with like-minded people, and there's definitely a great sense of community, and there's not too many other opportunities in life in general, I feel like, where you can get together with all these sorts of people and share your passion for the hobby and things that you share in common. So that's fantastic. Again, if you're just joining us, please, if you have any questions, leave them down in the chat section. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm only seeing a few thumbs up, so we have 31 people in the chat right now, so we should have at least 31 thumbs up. If you don't mind, that would be greatly appreciated. If you have any questions for Michael Lacek regarding anything, go ahead and leave those down in the chat section. One of the reasons I wanted to bring you on specifically is because I have helped organize a large-scale event. So I kind of know the logistics and challenges that are involved in going to the event. So just wanted to chit chat and discuss things like that regarding that. But let's start off with HVZ. You kind of already mentioned this, that you got involved at HVZ during college. What is it that you really enjoy about HVZ, the game itself, versus, not to say that you don't enjoy PvP, but what do you really enjoy about HVZ versus something like PvP?
One of the big things that I love for HVZ is everyone is involved. You very rarely do you find people being sat out of games. So you're always doing something, no matter whether you're playing human or zombie. There's a lot of strategy in the sense of you get to deal with these unique environments, unique rule sets, depending on where you go. Like I said, Athens is always a favorite of mine to go to, just because of the fact that you are in play all the time. So just from your car to going into like a gas station, you've got to be ready. In End War 2018, there was actually a hotel where inside the hotel was fair game. And so it creates the dynamic environment that's always shifting has been a big selling point. And just the versatility of blasters, getting to watch Buff Daddy go with whatever he feels like. I remember I'm trying to remember which thing it was. I think it might have been Mutation Madness. One of the more recent things I've been to with Buff Daddy, where he decided to run Boomco for part of the evening, which is great. Answering the question from the chat, really the best type of blasters for HVZ is what you feel most comfortable with. If you ask anyone, if you are practiced with it, or know just how it functions, what those hiccups are, you can be good with almost anything. I mean, I've watched people run around with jolts that, because they are able to pace themselves and reload well, they do fine. I've watched, Captain Xavier with his proton pack just go and mow hordes down. There is no best option, and because everything becomes so situational, Maryland Mayhem had a blaster restriction early on, so what you might not be comfortable with might not even be available. I know for Survival Fest, we did like the weak points, so you had to make sure you had stuff for ammo-specific specials. It very much becomes this, the more versatile or comfortable you are, that works well. I would say the sock ninjas and sock cannons, there's so many different ways to play, and that's part of the other great thing about it, is there is no wrong way to play the game.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. One of the things I'm always amazed, or differences that I'm amazed with, is really for HVZ, you don't even really need a blaster to play. You can literally just run away or run around, do the objectives, sock ninja if you want to, or survivalist if you want to. But there's not a lot of initial investment that's involved if that's something you choose to do. You can literally just show up and play in this game of tag, which I think is really cool. Versus coming to a PvP event, you can do the same thing if you really want to. I always say it's not necessarily the blaster, it's the player. But at a certain point, if you're running up against someone that's able to snipe you from, with the 300 FPS blaster from, over 150 feet away, and you're running a jolt, I don't know if that's if that's as fair. But yeah, that's definitely one of the things I really enjoy, is the flexibility that HVZ allows you to have in different play styles. Going back to the question that was from General Strife, what's up? What is the best type of blaster to use for HVZ? Again, I agree with Michael. It's whatever you feel comfortable using. Whatever gets the job done. Now, I do have a couple rules of thumbs. For me personally, it's got to be reliable, and it's got to be, well, that's the main thing, is reliability, because you don't want to blast or fail when you're trying to use it. But something for me, like, I like large capacity, so I just not having to reload, or I can top load easily. So something like the Tomahawk. The Tomahawk 60 was fantastic. I was running that for a while. But even something as simple as a Stripe or a Spectrum, or a DZP Mark III on a 2S running full lengths, just to get that cap there, 120, where we play at UMBC often. And then for large scale events, I was running a combination of the FDL Basic throughout pretty much the entire day, and then I would switch over to a rival Percy's for if I ever made it to the final stand. But now, I'll be honest, I've been rocking two blasters. I've been rocking the Nerf Limited Halo Needler, which is extremely fun because it lights up in the dark and we play at night, so that's a lot of fun. And also I've been running the Full Auto Nightingale, which has kind of replaced my FDL Basic, and it's perfect because it's right at the cap of 120 where we play at. But yeah, those are the blasters I personally have been using. But again, it's really whatever you feel comfortable using. So if you have a favorite HVZ blaster, go ahead and tell us what that is down in the live chat section. Also, keep those catchphrases for our free t-shirt giveaway, those catchphrase suggestions, keep those coming to us. Go ahead and let us know what you think that should be. Something on the lines of Halloween theme would be fun. My suggestion was zombie jamboree, but I'm sure you guys are more creative than that. So as I said, as someone who has run or helped organize and run a large scale event, that being Maryland Mayhem, and I also did, I don't think I helped out in any, but I participated in Pennsylvania Survival Fest. I completely understand the logistics of and challenges of running something like that. What are some of the logistics and challenges are there to running an HVZ club, would you say?
So, when it comes to running a club, the biggest challenge is, especially looking at like a collegiate club, is things happen a lot more frequently. So for large scale events, it's maybe like you only need to actually be doing things like the event is once a year, maybe twice, depending on how you do it. But for clubs, well, they have weekly meetings. What do you do for those weekly meetings? How do you work stuff in? That's why a number of clubs are urban gaming clubs that they'll do HVZ, PvP, Assassins, LARP. They do more than just solely HVZ because there are other things to fit into that time frame. The other thing is you definitely have a different set of resources. You have more time in college, but at the same time, you don't necessarily have a full-time job. So sometimes purchasing props or creating an environment isn't always there. You are dealing with a different type of administration and school insurance that larger events, because they're able to pick and choose how they approach those, has a little more flexibility.
Sure. Yeah. So you said you were the first president at Grove City officially for the Urban Gaming Club there. How did that come about? How did that evolve?
So when I first started playing HVZ on Grove City's campus, we were an event under a club known as the Order of St. George. This was your D&D board game, video gaming club that exists on campus. For a once or twice a year event, having us be under them on paper was perfectly fine. As we wanted to grow, maybe host an invitational or two, it felt that it was best to separate and actually take HVZ and build it into the Urban Gaming Club. And so that was a lot of paperwork, a number of not necessarily easy conversations with people, talking the school into things, but that was definitely a great development for the event, for the club, being able to have some of that. Part of the way the policy works at Grove City was if you wanted funding, only the officers of a club could go to the necessary people for funding, and being that HVZ was an event that was kind of independently existing, when I was there, I was not allowed to go for funding. So it helps make some of that process easier.
Sure. And just tell us a little bit about Grove City Urban Gaming Club. Like, how often do they play, and is it what kind of missions? And just give us a little info regarding that.
So the Grove City Urban Gaming Club, saying hi to, because their current president's actually watching in chat. But they meet weekly, and it rotates between modding nights, build nights, some LARP nights, PvP, HVZ. That varies throughout the year. They do run a week long. They do run an invitational. Their fall invite was 2 weeks ago. It was Pirates. It was a great time. I know they're planning Star Wars Clone Wars era for their spring event. So
Very
that
cool.
is open to anyone 18 plus. It's definitely going to be a wonderful time. Both the president and the VP actually helped on Survival Fest last year. They are wonderful individuals. Some of their nightly stuff varies night to night. A lot of times when they have an HVZ meeting, it actually is very similar to like a one night at UMBC. We call them like one shots, just so that it is a way to get people more comfortable, take a break from things, and then obviously there's the big week long and the big invite each semester.
Very cool, very cool. So yeah, definitely check out Grove City's Urban Gaming Club. I'm definitely hoping to hit up one of the invitationals when I can. I saw the videos from, I think it was last year's where you guys did Willy Wonka. Was that it?
Willy Wonka was spring of 22. That was one of the ones I ran. Last year's spring was Monty Python.
That's right. I remember. Fantastic. Yeah. So I think, yeah, if you definitely have an opportunity, definitely go check out Grove Cities, at least one of the invitationals if you get a chance. Where can they find information regarding that?
That can be found. There's a Facebook, Instagram, Discord. Those are the big ones. I don't remember the name of. I think it's just GCC, UGC. All three things are kind of tied together. So if you find one, you should be able to bug people to find the others. Looking actually, if you don't mind, Dart Sweep, I saw a couple questions in chat that I did want to take a chance to answer.
Sure, absolutely. Go ahead and tell us what the question is, and then you can go ahead and answer it.
So from Stunt Matt, how do you get players who are turned early okay with that? That is very much tied to how the leadership is with the zombies. If you're hyping them up, keeping them excited, that is always a big help. It is unfortunate that someone always has to get tagged first. One thing I've found for invitationals, especially if it's not a regularly occurring thing, giving people the chance to have more experience. So something that has been done in the past with a number of clubs, Grove City does it regularly, and we're planning on bringing it for Survival Fest next year, is Mission Zero. Now, what Mission Zero is Friday night before the game, you get a chance to basically play a one-shot mission. We will end up getting everyone to zombies at the end. It gives you a chance to maybe test out gear, explore campus, just get a feel for that other side of the game. Because playing a zombie is a lot of fun, and it's just getting over that hurdle of I lost, and not really. You more just join the real winners. And once you get through that mentality, it is so much more fun. Just that stress that comes off you getting to play zombie and just terrorize people. Because that's the best part, is as a human, you're always worried someone's going to go around the corner. As a zombie, just your presence, them knowing you're there, makes them nervous. Because it's like, is he alone? Are there other zombies? Do we need to do something? Do we need to leave him go? What do we do here? And not to say that that level of power is exciting, but just to have that level of you are scared because I am here, and just the energy that comes from a really well hyped horde is wonderful.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a huge fan of Mission Zero type games, just to get your feet wet, knowing there's going to be a reset, and that your 2, 3, 4, 5 months of planning your loadout and your 12-hour drive to the event isn't all in vain because you just get tagged out in the first 5 minutes of playing. I've said this before, but one of the things I really enjoyed about Pennsylvania Survival Fest wasn't that there was a Mission Zero so much, but that in the first mission, there was almost a tiered system where new players were in one group, but essentially that was kind of their Mission Zero. And, not necessarily would get tagged or anything, but they were able to get their feet wet, have the impression that they were under zombie threat throughout that entire time, but still being able to continue on playing the game. But we'll get into that as we talk about Survival Fest in a minute. Again, if you have any suggestions for our t-shirt giveaway catchphrase, go ahead and leave that in the live chat comment. Also, I need more thumbs up in the live stream, so give us a like and a thumbs up in the on the page. Also, we would greatly appreciate if you would hype train us up and spread the word of these live stream shows, not just Foam Zone, but also Get Off My Lawn. Maritime Foam will be having content coming out soon. But yeah, whatever you can do to help get the hype and get the word around that World Foam Alliance is a thing. We have content. Website's going to be live at the end of the year. That would be greatly appreciated, so we can all come together and get this foam flinging hobby community going. So, and of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and join the Discord and all that jazz. But yeah, so let's go ahead and talk about Pennsylvania Survival Fest. So the way I saw it and when I first heard about it was kind of put together by an all-star team of mods from different clubs throughout the region or country. Give me the story, give me the background, give me the details on how Pennsylvania Survival Fest came about and some of the mod members that you're working with. I know we know some of the people in common, some of them from UMBC, Penn State. So yeah, just give us some background info regarding Pennsylvania Survival Fest and how that came about.
So Pennsylvania Survival Fest really started right after End War 22. Not to say that that was a rough year for End War, but there were some issues. It's been discussed in ad nauseum. We're not gonna bring that up again. But after that, there was a lot of people that felt we could do better, whether that was intentional or unintentional to kind of take that. But what had happened was, at that time in the community, what constituted a good HVZ was just that it existed, that there was a chance to go fight zombies and fling foam. And one thing that I really missed was End War 2018 was my first invite. It has been regarded by so many people as one of the best invites ever. You can find countless videos of both gameplay and mission briefings all on YouTube. There was 900 people in Ohio for a weekend playing, but the quality from the people running it was such a big part of that we really wanted to bring that back. So I was talking with France Foamworks, and we started putting some stuff together, and then I had the opportunity to reach out to some of my friends. Brian Leonard Brain out of Pitt. He was actually one of the End War 2018 mods. Kelsey, who is a Penn State alum, she did countless Penn State events. Both of them had large game planning experience. I mean, most of my experience up until this point was like 80 to 100 people. And pending, how things grow, I mean, Maryland Mayhem had 400, so the possibility for an event that size there. But with that, I then pulled on a couple people from our IT, John and Ryan. They are wonderful. Luke from Geneva College, some of the Grove City students that I had the chance to work and teach during the latter end of my time there, both as a student and as an alum. And so we pulled a bunch of these people in from Pennsylvania, Ohio, Maryland, New York for the first year. And actually for this year, we've actually expanded to include people from North Carolina and Michigan are the big two new regions that have representatives joining us. there really wants this to be this, we are a big community, we have so many different cultures across the country, so creating an opportunity to bring a quality, engaging environment, not just the game. One of the things that made Endwar 2018 so special was they actually didn't just decorate the briefing room, but like one of the missions was to rip down propaganda posters. So they actually hung posters across campus. Athens had this wall that they would paint up for different events, like a number of different schools. And so they had that painted up to match the event. And it really felt like you were in this world, not just playing on a college campus. So to create that sort of environment and world was really a big thing to me. I mean, from Grove City, day one, when I started running the invites there, Survival Fest, I want people to not just play the game, because I do love playing the game. I mean, what was it? I've done, in just the last 2 months, I've done 3 or 4 HVZs. If it weren't for some extraneous circumstances, there'd be another 3 or 4 on my list for the fall. Getting to do 5 or 6 weekends in a row in both the fall, spring, and summer to play has been wild to myself and some of the veteran people that really weren't sure what was happening with COVID. But to have that quality, that in-depth world, giving that immersion, that's the word I'm thinking of, is something that's really, I think, a lot of people enjoy, and it's seemed to get a good response because, I mean, who doesn't want to dress up as a pirate for, like, Grove City just did Pirates of the Caribbean, so you had people in pirate costume walking around like Jack Sparrow while fighting zombies. It just adds another level of fun and creativity to the game, and it's something that I think really takes what could be a good HVZ game and makes it great.
Sure. I mean, I've said this before, but what I really enjoyed, another thing I really enjoyed about Survival Fest was what I like to call flavor. You guys had a lot of flavors. So, yeah, HVZ is contingent on having great or good game mechanics that work for both humans and zombies. But there's also, especially with these larger scale events, there's also showmanship that's involved. So, having what I thought Pennsylvania Survival Fest did great was you guys actually had a script. You guys did this introduction video that was Indiana Jones and you had the scene, and then almost like an amusement park, you were watching the scene on the projector, and then you cued it and timed it so when the video ended, you guys walked into the building and continued with the theatrics. So I am a huge fan of that kind of immersion. I definitely think that goes a long way, and I'm hoping to see that in a lot of other events going forward. And like I said, yeah, game mechanics, you want to make sure the game works and everything, but I think we are getting to the point and evolving to where we really could present this kind of immersive experience, almost to the level of like escape rooms and LARPing and cosplay all kind of combined together. So I thought Pennsylvania Survival Fest did that extremely well, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have in store going into next year. So if you're in the live chat, tell us what you really enjoy about HVZ. I know Kelsey said being immersed is important, but do you like game mechanics or do you like having the flavor? Tell us what you really enjoy about HVZ. Also, tell us what your favorite HVZ blaster is. I haven't seen too many of those. So, and of course, like, subscribe, and don't forget to suggest our t-shirt winning catchphrase. And also share the hype, share the love. So as an organizer, how did you guys go about designing the missions? What were some of the challenges? One of the things I already mentioned was the fact that you guys had a quote unquote mission zero for kind of the new players that hadn't really had a lot of experience. Just tell me a little bit about the planning that went behind Pennsylvania Survival Fest, not only with the game mechanics, but also just the event in general, because there was a convention that Foam Nation, which was France Foamworks, did, along with a 3 blaster competition they did, and then there was a panel and then briefings along. Just tell me everything you can. I want to know.
So, really, one of the first thing you have to understand is how to design HVZ to begin with. Really, the best way to do it, and what I like to recommend, especially if you are trying to learn how to design games, starting to build your own club, community, that sort of thing, is at the end of the day, currently there exists about 4 different types of HVZ games. There's Z13, which is the arena style game, is what we've called it. We had that during Friday at Survival Fest, put on by the guys from Detroit. They were kind of the ones that started pioneering this. And it's an HVZ game in about 15 minutes. They are going to set a simple objective, and they're just going to run it, and with the intent on, we're going to end this in 15, 20 minutes. Done. If you're trying to learn how to play, it's a great starting point. It's a great way to build up a player base because it works really well with like 20 people. After that, moving towards the what UMBC does with their one nights, or the one shot, where it's, okay, we can do that in 15 minutes. Let's try and do it in 2 hours. Once you get like an hour, 2 hour long things figured out, cool, let's try and span this a day, and that's your invite. Kind of the day long fits into kind of that bubble, and then you go into your full week long as the 4 different styles based on time. Now, when it comes to actually designing the missions, one of the first things we did was we wanted to make sure that we allowed newer players to have a chance to get comfortable with the game, especially with No Mission Zero this past year. We wanted to make sure that some of that difficulty was there. It was partially also inspired by Indend War 2018. Their Mission 1, they had missions kind of, there were ones that were, oh, if you're family friendly, why don't you take this group? And if you're not, you're going to take this one. Now, most of that was more tied to the flavor of those missions, but it definitely sparked this idea of making sure people are met where they're at with skill level. Most HVZs these days, and even prior to COVID, 40 to 60% of your player base is actually like they've only played maybe 1 or 2 games prior. And so it turns into this, half the people are brand new, or they've maybe done 1 before. And obviously, because there is such a variety, that will easily shift in terms of how well they do. And then you have the people that are 10-year vets, 6-year vets, been around the world playing, been around the country playing, that are like, yeah, throw everything, throw the kitchen sink at us, we'll handle it no matter what. And so making sure that you were able to plan for both of those. With Mission 2, especially this past year, the other big thing is there are 3 kind of bubble categories on how people will approach HVZ. They're the people that are, well, I'll just outrun the zombies all day, and that's how I'm going to survive. You have the people that are, I'm just going to carry so much ammo and basically be like a turret, and nothing will get through me because ammo. And then you have the people that are like, okay, if we solve the puzzle, solve the missions, maybe outthink where the zombies are going, we'll be able to get through this. And so for Mission 2 this past year, we actually designed missions to cater to those 3 so that people could play how they wanted to. There are a lot of people that are just, I was a runner in school, I'll run around with a hammer shot and call it a day. They won't enjoy being told, hey, you're going to sit here and hold this point for 30, 40 minutes. But then there are the people on the other side of the coin that are, I maybe have injured myself, or I know there are a lot of people that get into the hobby that are parents that maybe can't do an hour of running. So making sure that you have opportunities for both styles of play, both types of people to enjoy, have fun, and play how they want to play. If you're getting into designing HVZ, building a club, definitely look at online resources. There's a ton of Discords to discuss stuff, countless footage from even before COVID and since COVID of gameplay footage. I said all the End War 18 mission briefings are there. If you dig deep enough, you can find tons of information, both on the playing, like different ways to play or how people played in the past, as well as just how to design missions. One thing I like to joke about is writing HVZ is very much feels like you are writing a role-playing, like a tabletop role-playing game, except everyone's going to be making those decisions physically instead of, rolling dice or picking cards. And so it's hard to account for what people will do, but having some of that thought through as if you were taking that approach, I've found that some of the best people that have run games have also been very good at role-playing games just for that ability to adapt on the fly, because there is a huge level of adaptation that comes with it as well.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, if you go onto Discord, you should be able to find a lot of resources and helpful tips and tricks to designing some missions. I know UMBC, they have a chat where they discuss and propose different types of missions. So, and they kind of workshop that through, and then they play test it eventually. So, but with that being said, well, I want to go back to Mission 2, what you were saying, which I thought was another great thing on top of Mission 0 gameplay. But having that flexibility to kind of choose your play style for that mission, breaking it up into different groups. So one group was really heavy on puzzle solving. Another group was really heavy on, taking on special zombies. And then the other one was kind of if you wanted to run, and you kind of split them up into that group and kind of cater to people's play styles. I thought that was a great mechanic to have, and definitely something I would look forward to seeing again, not only from you guys, but from other events as well. So fantastic on that. Tell us, you already mentioned Discord, but what are some tips and advice for people that are looking to get into HVZ or starting HVZ club? Some people don't have a school club that they can attend, so maybe they'd want to start something up independently themselves. What are some general tips and advice you can provide for HVZ?
So, definitely, start small. I spoke earlier about how there is Arena HVZ, where it is a tight environment. Detroit, I said, we're kind of the ones that really started pioneering it. They play in a laser tag arena. It is good for 20 to 30 people. So if you don't have, a 80-person game or a couple 100-person game, you can run this quick. With the intent on, we are going to run this mission. We're going to run with X objective. Everyone's going to get tagged in like 15, 20 minutes. We're going to swap who starts as zombies and do it again. And that you don't necessarily need a lot of space for that either. I've seen it done in parks. I've seen it done in like parts of PvP arenas for like even some of the PvP clubs. Starting with that small 15, 20 minutes not only gets you comfortable designing objectives as a game designer, but also gets the players comfortable to playing human, playing zombie. You want to try stuff out. Cool, let's try this, let's try that. I heard out in Texas, they have something a little more larger scale where they'll do a couple objectives in a weekend. But there is a lot of, with the understanding that you start with a smaller, simpler game, and then building that up as the player base builds is, I've watched a number of clubs post-COVID actually be able to build themselves up thanks to the idea of like, okay, we start with a small group. Sure, we're only getting 10 to 15 people. we'll run this a few times. Someone's like, hey, that sounds cool. Why don't I come next time? And that builds over time given into what can be a very effective club. Ideas for objectives can even be one of the simplest ones is you pick a location. Okay, if you're a zombie, run over, tag that. That's how you respawn after you get stunned with a dart. Humans, here's a spot. You have to basically defend this for 15, 20 minutes. And if the zombies are struggling, you may adjust how things are. If the humans are struggling, well, then you can just run it again even sooner. I know people have integrated special zombies into things sometimes just to see how that plays. There is getting into what is possible with mutations and special zombies and added upgrades to the Horde. That is a discussion in its own day. There's so many different things, and depending on what part of the country you're in or who you interact with, that can vary greatly as well. But keeping it simple, keeping it small, working with 10, 15 people, even if you can only get 10, just to give people that experience. Don't be afraid to travel. There's a lot of, I said, in the Northeast, so like PA, Ohio, Maryland, just this fall alone, there's 7 or 8 different HVZs that have been run. I know the spring gets even more busy because we're not fighting with college football for space. So there's just so many opportunities here. I know there's some stuff that happens out west. I know UNCC and the Florida clubs do a number of things. Mutation Madness, and I am well connected with most of those groups, and I know more people want to start stuff up in their local areas. So I'm very excited to see what other groups and events pop up in the coming years to offer HVZ experiences in new and exciting locations.
For sure, absolutely. Yeah, just kind of like anything else, I would say is you just kind of got to do it. I mean, essentially, HVZ is a game of tag. So start with that. If you have a club or just a group of people, just start with a simple game of tag. You have some people with blasters, and then you have some zombies that are trying to tag you, and it can start from there and evolve from there. So I would like to tell everyone what the catchphrase is. Once you have the catchphrase, go ahead and comment down in the live chat section, and we will pick a winner for a free t-shirt. The catchphrase is "Zombie ate my socks." Again, "Zombie ate my socks." If you would like to win a free World Foam Alliance t-shirt, go ahead and comment down in the live chat. "Zombie ate my socks." Not mine, maybe Michael's. So
it's happening.
So we're running out of time here, but I appreciate you talking a little bit about Pennsylvania Survival Fest. There's so much more I want to talk about, but you guys have now evolved into Survival Fest, no longer Pennsylvania Survival Fest, but Survival Fest.
Yeah. That was for a multitude of reasons. A number of things are still in the works that can't exactly be spoken about just yet. But part of that is searching for new venues, potentially being able to work with local clubs. I know we are more than happy to share our rule set if people want to look at how that was written or ask questions. I know something that I really want to do with the event next summer with Survival Fest is actually being able to host a panel on game design, because there are so many people I've spoken to, even in just the past couple months, that are, we want to run HVZ, we want to play more, we want to run it, we just don't know where to start. There is a bit of an art to it because it's interactive storytelling. We talked earlier this evening about the quality and flavor on top of the gameplay, so there's a lot to that, and so trying to develop some of those resources to help build that is something that I really want to be able to do using the Survival Fest brand.
For sure, and that's definitely something the World Foam Alliance is hoping to also provide a resource for. Is, how do you run a good HVZ, and potentially even partnering up with people to host some events as well. Again, if you would like to win your free T-shirt, go ahead and comment in the live chat. Zombie ate my socks, and you can win a free T-shirt. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and join the Discord, and also register on the World Foam Alliance.
Make sure we get those thumbs up in.
That's right. Also, there is going to be I believe, a charity giveaway 24-hour live stream, maybe not 24-hour, 12-hour live stream that the World Foam Alliance, will be hosting in December. We'll keep you updated with the dates and the hosts for that, but that should be extremely exciting. Some of our past guests will come in and host, and we're going to try to raise some money for a good cause. We are, man, time goes by quick, but tell us a little bit about your PvP club, the Steel City Foam Initiative. Tell us a little bit about that, where you guys play, how often you play, age group, FPS, game types.
So, Steel City Foam Initiative, or Sci-Fi is what we like to call it, just shortened down, really came from, it's a really funny story. Back in 2018, we were planning on, there was a closed down mall in Pittsburgh that someone just for the fun put up a Facebook event, hey, let's have a Nerf war in here. Well, it gained enough traction that people were like, okay, maybe this can be a real thing. But due to some of the safety concerns and issues with just the state of the mall, that ended up not happening. That was actually what led me to go to my first End War. And while there, some of the people I was talking to, we started discussing the idea of starting a club in the city of Pittsburgh. Since then, it's gone through a few different iterations, some different leadership changes. It's still COVID didn't help trying to build that up. We started at, I believe it was Frick Park in the city of Pittsburgh. Now we play in North Park, which is just north of the city. We meet kind of when people want. It's very much in that stage of it's a group of friends that meet up every so often. But some of the infrastructure of a larger scale club is there. Very much open to all ages. FPS cap, kind of what people are feeling. Normally you would see like 150, like the stuff you would see for standard PvP. So it's a small group. We're just kind of, I said, it's still a bunch of people that get together. I'm hoping in time, as things grow and develop, part of that struggle was the fact that, like, I was away from Pittsburgh for a few years for school, and so coming back, I'm hoping to have a larger role in building that further in the coming years. So
very cool. Quickly, I just, both you and I attended End War 2023, which I had a lot of fun at. So shout out to Drac, his crew, and also, of course, the UNCC mod teams. What are you looking for in events in the future in general? What do you think makes a good event, and what are you looking forward to in the future with these events?
Biggest things, the people, getting to play with your friends. That's always a big selling point for me. Like, the more people that are going, like the 12-hour road trip to Mall Game was just as much fun as the actual game itself.
Sure.
End War is going to be there are a lot of events that do a little bit of everything. End War, Maryland Mayhem, RAG, which just happened. So getting to meet different people, that's been my favorite part of traveling, is I mean, being down in UNCC for Endor, getting to meet people from Florida and Georgia, and like getting to basically play in their world for a weekend, or getting to do that in Missouri, or I've heard there's a lot of PvP clubs up in Wisconsin I'd like to go to at some point. What I really look forward to in events, especially looking at next year and some of the bigger events, is just the getting to work with getting to see different cultures, play different game styles, getting to have, I mean, I think a lot of people really enjoy just the experience of playing. And so getting to do that in new, cool ways is always a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it's always the journey and the experience is the best part, and meeting the people and just hanging out and being able to interact with people that share the same interests and passions. So we are almost at that time pretty much. I want to thank everyone for joining us, but we are going to announce the winner of the free t-shirt giveaway. So this may be your last chance. And I'm just waiting for the man behind the curtain to tell me who the winner is. But go ahead, if you have not done so already, go ahead and type in Zombie Ate My Socks to be entered for, oh, there we go. I'm so sorry. And congratulations, General Strife, for winning the free World Foam Alliance t-shirt. Be sure to contact myself or hit us up on the Discord to get your information, and we'll get that over to you. But congratulations. Well done. Any closing remarks, Michael, that you would like to say? Any parting words?
You can follow everything we're doing with Survival Fest on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We have a Discord. I know a bunch of wonderful people have joined that. We're currently in the process of announcing our theme, and I say that it's a process because we have put out, I think we started with like a dozen different and over the coming weeks, things will get removed, things will become more clear. There will be maybe some other clues, some other fun pieces of information. So make sure to keep an eye out, make sure to, pay close attention, see if you can spy all those little details hidden. Grove City, always a great time. Definitely make sure to check them out on the socials. To everyone else, thank you all for joining us. And I can't wait to, whether you see me on the field playing or on the field moderating, definitely make sure to say hi. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, I really appreciate you joining us. I'm sure at some point I would love to have you come back because I have a million more questions. I'm sure we can talk all day. It's crazy how an hour just flies by. I have like a whole outline list, and I think we got to most of it, but there are definitely some things we didn't discuss, and I would like to continue to discuss and talk about how things are evolving in general. But with that being said, definitely make sure to stay tuned in for next week. On Wednesday, we will be live streaming again with Al the Geek and Captain Xavier. They may actually be out in Washington visiting someone. So that should be exciting. Also, tomorrow is the next installment of The Forge. The next installment, episode 4 of The Forge with Al the Geek, who I think is painting the Outlaw Blaster that the last Get Off My Lawn giveaway winner won. So that should be fun to see. So tomorrow, stay tuned for the next episode of Al the Geek's The Forge on World Foam Alliance YouTube channel. And let's see. Yep. Okay. I think that's pretty much it. So again, really appreciate everyone taking the time out and being able to join us tonight. If you wouldn't mind giving us thumbs up, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and go ahead and share this to everyone that you know that may be interested or may not be interested. Just go ahead and let's get the word out there that World Foam Alliance is a thing, and we're here and we're looking to grow this hobby and community together. Happy Halloween. I will see you guys all next month, November 1st, with my next guest, who will be Jason Torrey, who is also known as Zelkos, who helps run TNT events for competitive blaster scrimmages and clinics. So that should be a lot of fun. But again, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the Foam Zone. Until then, don't forget to dart swim. Have a good one.